This is Roppongi Rocks and we are backstage at Skogsröjet in Sweden with Mike Tramp. How are you, Mike?
From White Lion.
Indeed.
I'm good, and it's a great pleasure to finally speak to the Japanese fans.
Well, it's great to hear from you and great to meet you.
Well, nobody's been asking me before now, so it's a privilege.
Well, we hope you'll come to Japan at some stage and play.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens.
Indeed. And in recent years, you've been revisiting your White Lion heritage, pedigree, history. And what made you do that again?
Also, the monkey on the back.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's sort of just caught up with me because as I ended White Lion in '91, and obviously at that time started Freak of Nature, 3 albums. We were in Japan,
Yep.
And then after that, my solo career. Besides Freak of Nature, every other project that I've done, not that my solo career is a project, will always have a big White Lion sticker on anything that I do.
True.
And which is fine. I am the founder and the singer and the songwriter from White Lion. But the stuff that I'm doing that night on the poster is not White Lion. So it's sort of saying, and they're also saying that the fans are dumb, that they wouldn't know that Mike Tramp was from White Lion. So it's been a 25 to 30 year ongoing battle. And the hardest thing was for me was, it wasn't just a matter of saying, okay, I'm going back to do White Lion. First of all, White Lion would never reunite. So we already knew that from the beginning. So I always knew that if I had to go back and do White Lion, it had to be something. And obviously, every festival, I mean, there's almost no original bands. There might be the bass player or singer or the drummer in the band. And that's just the way it is. So, and White Lion is not just something you just put together. So I tried it once, and very early into the stages, I realized I was creating a band that had nothing to do with White Lion, even though we were playing White Lion songs. I was creating a UFO, I was creating an early Whitesnake, 2 guitars, a Hammond B3. And I should just have known it then. So when I closed that down in 2009, I went out for another 10 years with 8 solo albums.
Yep.
Little by little, the White Lion became bigger and bigger on my posters. And finally I said to myself, okay, if I'm going to do this, I want it to be fresh, but I also wanted to represent Mike Tramp in 2023. Not just somebody who goes to his basement and find the old spandex pants and then jump around in front of the mirror saying, hey, I can almost do this.
Yeah.
No, so when Marcus came into the picture, we were doing a tour playing my other songs. I asked, would this be possible to basically take White Lion and move it somewhere else, but keeping everything original? So basically just moving the songs a few keys down so it would sound how I sing today.
And is that part, I mean, you've done 3
The third one will come out now in September.
Yeah. And is that part of the same thinking with re-recording the songs?
Sorry?
Is re-recording the songs, I mean, releasing them again?
That is exactly what that is. Yeah. That is recording the songs, because even me, and I understand the fans have a different relationship to the songs. I can't stand listening to the old albums. It's I would say that from all the decades, a lot of 80s albums did not go well into the future, sonically. Yep. It's so specific. This is, of course, just something I make up on the spot. It's almost a lot of the songs, first time you heard the songs, you saw the songs on MTV. Yep. So you saw the look, and the look was part of the sound. So, I go on a radio show, I go to a TV show or something, and then suddenly they start playing something for Fight to Survive or something from the Pride. I go, man, do I want to remix those albums? And that was not possible. So I think that once we started recording the new songs, the first album, it just felt like I was really at home with them. I felt that, now I knew the lyrics. Of course, I'd written the lyrics, but I knew the lyrics in a different way. I understood the lyrics. I was able to give the songs a different feel. And I felt that now I'm up on stage at that time, 63 years old, that a little bit of the voice should be where I am now.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, I mean, the melodies and the guitar solos and the intro and the length of the songs are basically the same. It's just that you feel, and a lot of fans that come out, there's always somebody that says the opposite. But a lot of fans that come out says, man, it almost feels like a new album.
Yeah.
And I can tell you when you hear the third album, where we're now taking a lot of the darker stuff out, because, it feels like an original album.
Yeah.
Because of the combination of the songs from the different albums.
Speaking of original, do you have any plans to use the sort of Mike Tramp's White Lion and do new music?
Well, you're obviously not the first one who has spoken that. The difficult part is, and we all know that from all our favorite bands, what do they play live? The greatest hits, or the big songs. And it's just the thing, I mean, how is Mike Tramp's White Lion going to sound? And Mike Tramp's White Lion on stage is going to play songs from the 4 albums. We're not going to say we're going to play a new song, because that new song it cannot be represented by the name.
Yeah.
White Lion are the 4 albums. So it would have, it would have to be a completely different project under another name.
Yeah.
And I'm highlighting the word project, because it's not going to be a band. We're not going to be able to tour under a new name when I can't go on stage without the White Lion name.
Yeah.
How am I going to, now we're going to call, like Salt and Pepper, I mean, and it's like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The money's also not big enough.
Yeah. And you also done some Danish language albums and songs. Is that to have a counterbalance, to sort of do something?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you say the word balance, because it wasn't planned. The Danish albums came out of the COVID.
Okay.
It's just one of those. But at the same time, also taking a break from something and doing something that is so diverse made me hungry to go in and record the White Lion, especially the first album, that I wasn't doing that and that and that. So, yeah. And I also have, obviously, more, solo albums. But the thing is, who am I recording it for?
Yeah.
I so badly want to go out and play my solo songs. But I know what the poster will say, because I have 200 of them on my old garage wall. And so, and now that Mike Tramp's White Lion, which basically in 23 will be White Lion, in 26 will be White Lion. We're scrapping Mike Tramp. He's already on stage. And those are the songs. And now we have the 3 albums, so we're gonna, do the sets and things like that. Yeah. And we wouldn't be on these festivals if they couldn't use the White Lion logo. It's just the way it is.
It's the reality.
It is reality.
And I understand you moved back to the US recently, because you were a few years back home in Denmark.
Yeah.
And does that mean the sort of Danish language music and shows are behind you, or that could come back, or you've moved to America for?
Well, I mean, it's sort of just like writing a cookbook. In your break from a tour, it's just something you do. When you look back at the 7 years that White Lion existed, we were only White Lion, and nobody talked, ate, or spoke anything but White Lion. And that's that hardcore, when you're in a band and you don't play with anyone else, you're doing anything else. With time, and I was the last one to engage in that, but I even saw some like James and Greg, the bass player, and they have the need to do something different. It's just a musical creation. You have to think like that. And obviously there's been a lot of big bands and a lot of artists that do solo projects because they want to do something else. So, you know, the Danish albums is something that's set in me since I had, you know, the first Kim Larsen album in 1974. And the albums are about Denmark. They're not a Danish version of my solo career. They're basically, you know, a documentary of Mike Tramp's life from the 60s and the 70s, and how that world and that country used to be. And there could come a third one. It's just really a matter of time. But we also know that the only point of writing an album like that is like going fishing with your friends. You just like to do something with a couple of people you like to work with. We're not going to sell any records. There's almost no money to record it. So it has to be for the reason of enjoyment.
And it seems like you worked with Soren Andersen on some of the recordings you've done.
Well, I mean, the thing is, and I'm sure you can find that of other people's albums, when you find someone, and when Soren walked into my life in 2010, I actually met the first person on earth and the only person on earth who understood who I was as a songwriter. And when you start working with someone like that, which means you never have to speak, it just lands like that. And I think that if we had met 10 years earlier on, we would have created something that we were together. You know, Soren has a lot of projects and stuff like that, and we know we can't commit to a band together. I mean, we had the two Rock and Roll Circus albums, and that's to me my pride and joy. But we also found out that we couldn't go out and play. You know, we did a couple of small European tours, but again, what's the question? Is he playing any White Lion songs?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I think this has given us a good background to how you view things.
It's a lot of depth in that.
Yeah, I like it very much. So thank you for speaking.
Hey, thank you for the opportunity.
Roppongi Rocks, and we do hope to see you in Japan very soon.
You sure will.
Cheers.